Am I heard? Am I audible? Can you all hear me? Okay, I'll try my best not to move because I'm a very fidgety person, guys. So if you can't see me or the camera can't see me, please let me know, yeah. So thank you, Harry, for having me here. This is my first TED Talk, never done this before, but I'm super excited because it got me back to school. And, you know, I'm a boarding school product, so is Harry, and it tells you the memories that come back to you. When you're addressing students, you know, you spent your life with your batchmates, and so much comes back, so many memories. It's like it happened yesterday. It's so fresh. And I want to start by telling you a little anecdote and a true story of my life and how the friendships that you guys forge here in this school or in any other school during this phase of your life starts and stays with you forever. So let me go a little back and forth. So towards the fag end of my career at Lemon Tree, I was getting very, very restless. Like I said, I'm a fidgety person. I wanted to turn entrepreneur. My wife told me I'm going through a midlife crisis, which I thought I was, by the way. And so I said, hey, why not? Yeah, I'm this, you know, cool dude. I run India's largest mid-market hotel company. So I'll go out in the market. I'll pick up, you know, equity like this. There'll be people lining up to invest in my company, and I'll turn entrepreneur tomorrow morning, yeah? So I thought, you know, I'm cat's whiskers, yeah? But that's life, and it's a big leveler, guys. Whenever you think that you're up there, life has a methodology to bring you down to Mother Earth and show you your place. And it happened to me. I made this very fancy pitch deck. If you guys understand what a pitch deck is when you go out asking for investments, made this amazing Excel sheet, promised the earth and the moon, showed some great numbers, spoke about my experience. In fact, coincidentally, as a lot of you may or may not know, Harry and I started our career at the Taj Group of Hotels together, I think 25 years ago or 30 years ago. Well, we are ancient people, guys. So I put all that experience into a very beautiful deck, into an Excel sheet, put some powerful numbers in, and I said, hey, I'm going to raise equity at some fancy valuation here. पहले बंदे के पास गए, रिजेक्ट हो गए जी. दूसरे के पास गए, रिजेक्ट हो गए. So पहले 5 ने तो सुन के ही रिजेक्ट कर दिया. Then the next lot came. The next couple of them went to the next step, which is typically a term sheet. And then they valued me at 25% of what I thought my value and the company's value should be. So बस जो थोड़ी बहुत उम्मीद की किरण थी वो भी बुझ गई. So the valuations were just not, I mean, I was better off as President Lemon Tree Hotels earning this, you know, good little salary. But so that wasn't meant to be. So karte, I went through 12 investors, 12 of them rejected every single time. So guys, one big lesson here is whenever you think that you've made it, you've achieved it, trust me, there are moments in life which bring you down, and I think those moments make you the strongest. But coming back to why I'm telling you this story, I went to a school friend of mine who was with me in boarding school. So I went to a school called Mayo College. I'm sure you guys have heard about it. He and I were in school together. We were in the same house. We stayed in touch all through. My friend called Anirudh, and I went to him. I told him my real story. Can I tell you something? What school friendship is all about? He didn't look at my deck. He didn't look at that, you know, that fancy Excel sheet. He said, "Kitna chahiye?" We spoke about a number. He wrote the first check. See, he's a big shot investment banker. He wrote that first check, and only after that first check, which had his stamp on it, which had his approval on it, which had his, you know, which had him as a participant in my company, in my story, in my, future, is when the rest of the investment followed. So that one check, which was the result of school friendship made here in school when I was your age, is why I happened to turn entrepreneur. So I will never forget that. Therefore, guys, this friendship you will cherish for the rest of your life. Make the most of it. Don't ever let this go. You'll make friends along the way, college, work, but they are not your real friends. It's friends made in school that stay with you for a lifetime. So I hope you guys make such beautiful friendships which stay with you for a lifetime. So I hope technology works and I can shift the slides. So that's me. I've got to bore you with my story. I'm a boring businessman from the corporate world, so I don't have very interesting anecdotes to tell. I don't have great things to talk about, but I'll tell you the boring shit of my life, and I hope you guys learn from it, and you guys get some ideas and experiences out of it. Okay, so I've tried to put some cricketers in because you guys associate with cricketers. So life was good. Like I said, I went to a great boarding school. I was having fun in life. Life was going beautifully. When my 12th class board results came out, my mother was convinced that the mark sheets got swapped because what I scored there got me into a premier Commerce College of India, SRCC, as you all know about. So did my BCom honors. Life was going great. But I'll tell you, sometimes what happens is that when you're doing well in life, everything is peaceful, everything is straight, you get too complacent in life. And I think that's exactly what happened to me when I was in college. I had the opportunity, I had the platform. I was in arguably the best commerce college of Asia. And honestly, all I did there was have masti. Harry, you'll know, when you're out of a boarding school and you get so much freedom, you don't know what to do. And more often than not, you waste it. That's exactly what I did in my 3 years of college. Scored very average marks. I used to think I was a smart student, but my college marks were terrible. I could have sat through my articleship and become a chartered accountant. I should have probably given my CAT and gone to a fancy B school. None of that happened. Finally, I got lucky. Both Harry and I were part of the graduate management trainee program of the Taj Group of Hotels, which back then was the best hospitality program which existed in the country. So we were lucky again. I mean, Harry, not you, but I was lucky for sure. I made it there, had great fun. We had exposure. Our classroom was in the fanciest 5-star hotel of Delhi. We met great people, had solid fun. And I thought, this journey called life is so beautiful. Nothing can go wrong. Yaar, ye to zindagi badi achhi cheez hai. Live it up, man. So while I was at the Taj, I suddenly get a call one day saying that, you need to go back home. And my home was Assam. So I belonged to a place called Jorhat in Assam. And I won't blame any one of you who have not heard that place. But that's where I come from, which is why the whole boarding school story and why I was sent to one. And I get a call saying that, your father's not well, you have to go back home. And I was, back in the day in hotels, nobody sent you home if it wasn't something serious and urgent. And well, it was. I lost my dad that day. Overnight, he died sitting on his office chair. So it wasn't that, he was ailing, he was not well, we weren't prepared. It was just another day for him in office, and he passed away. Life changed. Life took a 360-degree turn. I had to leave everything. I had to leave the fun of Delhi, the experience. I had to leave a great job, possibly a great career in hotels, chuck all of that up and go back to Assam to take care of my family business, which coincidentally was also a hotel. So overnight, guys, remember this, you don't know when life hits you. In a matter of 3 minutes, my life changed. From my father being there to not being there. I went back to Assam. I took over the family business. Back in the day, Assam was not what it was today. There was insurgency, there was political disturbance. It wasn't the great place. The place was nice, but the political climate wasn't the healthiest. I had to take over. I had to cut short my career at the Taj. I had to leave in about 4 years. In fact, here I must tell you about great organizations like the Tatas. We were all under a bond, and we had to serve the company for 5 years. And if you didn't, you had to pay a very hefty fine or penalty. But Tatas being Tatas, the ethos of that company, I was never pursued to say that, hey, we trained you. We gave you the best possible training. We spent money on that. You have not finished your 5 years. Please pay us back and then go. Never. I just brought it in to tell you how great companies think and why they've become great companies. And the House of Tatas is definitely one. So that happened. I was slowly learning the ropes of business, and I thought, chalo, maybe that's destiny. I'm supposed to be here. So slowly settling down with life. And then there comes another googly. My mother was diagnosed with cancer, and soon enough she passed away. So from one tragedy to shifting base, to relocating, to trying to do something which I wasn't comfortable with, to another tragedy, and my mother was gone shortly after. And here I was just married, not happy living where I was. Business wasn't doing too great because I told you the hotel business is very, 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 it's A, cyclical, and B, the environment around you makes a big difference to the prosperity of that business. So business was okay, life wasn't doing good. Another tragedy struck me. I was married, I had 2 small kids, and suddenly I decided, hey, yaar, I want to get out of this. So Borya Bistar Banda, sab kuch band kiya, sold my assets, and back in the day, because it wasn't the best environment there, I didn't get great money for it. And I moved back to Delhi. I didn't know what to do. Connected with a few friends, applied everywhere. Back in the day, you didn't have these platforms called Naukri.com, so used your contacts. Applied everywhere, didn't get a single job. So then, as Harry will know, my ex-boss at the Taj had just quit the Taj and was setting up his own hotel company called Lemon Tree Hotels. So I called him up and I took an appointment, went to meet him. He says, and he used to call me Sirdi, he still does, by the way. He says, Sirdi, I don't have a job for you, I have one hotel, but I like you, so come on board, yeah. I said, theek hai ji, karunga kya? Kehta, I don't know. Tu aaja bas, we'll decide what to do with you. So I said, fine, yeah. So that was life, Here I was running my own business. Here I had about 35 people working for me, and the very next month, I was knocking on doors trying to figure a job for myself. That life, those are the bell curves of life. Upar bhi le jati hai, niche bhi le aati hai. And I have seen so many of them that I thought I'd love to share some of them with you. So it happened. Obviously, it was a startup. It was a new company. They had one small hotel. They obviously couldn't afford a big fancy salary. So I was given, a salary slip, and I was told this is what you'll get. Can I tell you, till about a month ago, the salary that I was dishing out to my employees and what I was offered was only 10% of that. So if I was giving out 100 rupees to my employees, the very next month, I was in a job earning 10% of that. So that is life for you. Isn't it a great leveler? It takes you up, it throws you down. So that happened. Another very interesting thing happened when I joined Lemon Tree. A lot of my peers, a lot of my colleagues at the Taj were also part of the Lemon Tree story because the boss was from Taj, and a lot of them joined him, a leap of faith. I suddenly realized that my peers and my juniors were all senior to me. I had lost out 5 years in the middle when I was learning the ropes of my own business, settling issues back home in Assam, and these guys continued in the corporate world. So they were all senior to me. People who were junior to me at the start of my hospitality career was senior to me. So life mein kabhi aapke saath aisa ho, to don't lose heart, guys. Because what I'll tell you now will drive you to say, hey, I can do it. So that happened. And suddenly I was reporting into people who were way junior than me. In fact, I probably taught them how to take a check-in in a hotel. But that's life. I stuck on because I didn't have another job. I'm not trying to say I'm a very resilient person, but I didn't have another job. I had a family to take care of. I stuck on, yeah. So like I was telling you, there was no job for me. There was no specific role for me. So I said, let me do sales. So my first job in Lemon Tree was wearing a blue coat, grey trousers, white shirt, knocking on door to door, and door to door means corporate offices, companies, trying to get room nights for that one hotel that they had in Gurgaon back then. The best part about being in sales is like, getting a report card published every morning. So mera bhi roz morning report card published hota tha, because the revenue that you get to the hotel is recorded on a day-to-day basis. So that happened. Revenues were great. I started clocking in great numbers. Suddenly, Lemon Tree was doing very well. The revenues were coming in. And suddenly, hey, I started doing well. I got promotions after promotions. And in a startup, I was probably, in about 2 years, I was senior to all those guys who were at my level or junior to me when I joined the company. So never lose hope. Never give up in life, guys. Everything is possible. So that happened. God was kind. I went on to become the president of the company. I spent 19 years in Lemon Tree. A great story. In fact, what I learned there, I don't think the best business schools in the world can teach you, and I happened to be in one. I don't think, any other organization, a well-established organization could have taught me the ropes of the business that I learned there. Just to tell you, Lemon Tree is about the business of hotels. It's not just about hoteliering. And if you understand the fine difference between what I'm saying, you'll know that that's something very unique. It's about running the business, not just running a hotel and running operations. So there were lots to learn. Maybe that'll need another TED Talk separately, and I'll be happy to chat with you guys about my learnings there, backstage. So that happened. Lemon Tree was a good story. Only a fool would chuck up that job, chuck up that position, chuck up that fancy salary, and say, hey, I'm bored. What do I do? I was too emotionally attached to Lemon Tree to even think of doing another job. So that wasn't an option. And I said, hey, kya kare yaar? I'm going through midlife crisis, I think. What do I do? So then the whole investment story started. Went door to door again. 12 times rejected, 13th time lucky. In fact, I was once speaking to an audience and I called it 13th time lucky, because that's when I got lucky with this friend of mine, a school friend, guys, so don't forget that friendship. Don't forget where these friendships can take you later in life. It came in stead for me 30 years after I passed out of school. So I hope it does for you too. In the interim, COVID happened. As you all know, the first couple of years of COVID were the worst possible for hotels. All hotels were shut. We were not making money. We were going through massive salary cuts. Whatever bad you could think of happened to the hospitality industry. And that's when it struck me that, hey, and then the revival started. And that's when it struck me that, listen, this industry for the next 7 to 8 years is going to go through such a boom that if I don't do it now and I miss this cycle, I will be too old to do it again when the next cycle comes. And remember, it's a very cyclical business. You have 5 to 7 years where the revenues, the occupancy, the rates go up. Then inventory catches up. More and more people see the kind of returns that hotels are making, and they try and put up supply. The minute supply happens, demand starts coming down. It gets divided among a larger base of supply, base of hotel rooms, and then you go through 3 to 4 years of bottom of pyramid cycle conditions, which means you don't make money. So I wanted to catch this cycle, and that's why I turned entrepreneur. See, let me tell you, it's nice to say that, I decided one day, I woke up and I said I want to turn entrepreneur. But my little submission to all of you here is that always take calculated risks in life. Don't ever do it just for the sake of it, just because you want to do it, just because you think that, hey, listen, it's cool to be an entrepreneur. No. Trust me, if I turned entrepreneur a year before COVID happened, I would have been bankrupt again. My entire business would have wound up. So timing is very important. Take calculated risks in life, always. It's very important. Always do your base protection. Always have a plan B. That's my little story for you as I move ahead with some more anecdotes. So that's what it is. It's about taking risks in life. But like I said, status quo is bad. But, if you don't figure out what your bottom end is, what your bottom could be, what is the worst situation that the risk can get you, don't take a risk. So take a risk, take calculated risks, only then it works well for you in life. So this is my own story, and I've taken you guys through it. I told you why I turned entrepreneur, how I turned entrepreneur, how the funding came in. But one little thing, today as a CEO of my own company, there are 3 things which I take care of. People, risk, and reputation. I agree, initially getting capital was tough. It was practically impossible. But let me tell you, the hotel business is all about people. If you don't take care of your people, somebody else will. And if you don't have good people running your business, you will never ever be successful. In fact, I often tell, a lot of journalists when they ask me, I said, my job is not to take care of my customer. They think I'm mad. Hotelier bol raha hai, my job is not to take care of my customer. I tell them, my job is to take care of my people because they will take care of my customer. And that is so very true, guys. If you're leading businesses, you're leading verticals, you're in corporate positions, always take care of your people. Risk I've spoken about, always have a plan B in life, always. You never know when life takes a turn. You could be sitting up there, suddenly, life deflates you and you're on ground zero. Always, always have a plan B. And the most important thing is reputation. Because if you lose reputation, you've lost your business, you've lost your customer for life. You can have the best brands like Kingfisher, Jet Airways. They were the fanciest, the biggest brands. They lost their reputation, and therefore they cease to exist today as a brand. So reputation, in my friends, as you grow up, as you take on larger roles in life, is something you should always be very, very, very careful about. Don't ever be penny wise, pound foolish. Build your reputation, because that's going to come in to use all your life. You will always, always, always enjoy the benefit of a good reputation. Anyway, I was trying to do a little pitch to all of you in case you want to join hospitality. Like I said, these are some numbers that I put up. What's most important is the next 6 to 7 to 8 years are going to be the golden period for the hotel industry in India. And I want to just give one stat to you guys. India is a country, a population of 140 crores. Do you guys know how many branded hotel rooms are in India? When I say branded, I mean from 0 star to 7 star. So I mean from a economy brand to a Ritz-Carlton. There are only 2 lakh rooms. So 2 lakh kamre or 140 crore ki abadi. Guys, this industry is going to go places. So if you want to join, I'm trying to make a pitch for you guys to come and join hotels, but this number will tell you that the next 5 to 7 years are going to be the best for hotels, because even if the supply doubles, triples, it will still be one of the most underserved hotel market in the world. So guys, do think about joining hotels. As we wrap up, I'd just like to say one thing, and this is what I learned from my stint in Lemon Tree Hotels. We all need to have a purpose in life. The purpose in life is to give back to the society, give back to those people who don't have it, the underprivileged, the less fortunate. And I think one company which does this so beautifully is Lemon Tree. Lemon Tree is the largest employer of people with disability in the hospitality space. 15% of the workforce in that organization are people with some disability or the other. They are speech and hearing impaired. These are people, acid victims. These are, people who never went to school. So therefore, they are not eligible for a job anywhere. But they are not functionally illiterate. These are people with Down syndrome. And when I say 15%, I'm talking of a number of 2,000 people, because Lemon Tree employs more than 14,000 people across the country. 2,500 log who would have never found a job anywhere are employed, and that changes their life. They live longer, they get married, they're accepted by their own families. And that, in my opinion, ladies and gentlemen, is the best thing and the best way to give back to the society. And that's very important here. So I'll sign off now, but I'll leave a little video for all you guys to have a look. It's a little emotional video of Lemon Tree Hotel. It's on YouTube, but I thought I will just give you a little glimpse of that. Volume. One second. Can you get the volume? So just 2 minutes, just see the video. It'll tell you how you can change lives, how you can make a difference. And it's not always about making money in life. It's about making a difference. And that's what this video will tell you. And that's what my ex-organization does so beautifully. Yeah. They're all speaking in sign language. We call them happy boys, the Down syndrome people. We've got this kind into the mainstream. That's how they take your order.
If we see कि कितना अच्छे से वो डस्टी और सारा रूम बनाते हैं, बट वो रूम बनाने के पीछे जो चीज़ें होती हैं वो बहुत सी मेहनत की जाती है उनके साथ। जो भी एक टास्क है उसको एसओपी को भी बहुत छोटा छोटा ब्रेक करके और उसको सिखाना, एक मैनुअल, डिफरेंट मैनुअल बनाया जाता है। जो कि नॉर्मल बच्चे नहीं कर पाते, ये इतना कॉन्फिडेंट हो गए कि मम्मा मैं हूँ आपके साथ, मैं करूँगा। आज ऐसा कोई भी इतना परफेक्टली काम नहीं कर सकता जितना वो कर रहा है घर में। आज मैं गर्व फील करती हूँ कि ऐसा बच्चा मुझे मिला है।
So let's, thank you. So with that, I'd like to wind up. Thank you so much for having me over. Thank you. Okay. ये बंद कर दी, वीडियो बंद कर दी।